I will multiply thy seed. Let's get into that. This is the first blessing of the three major blessings that we're going to see here, given to Abraham in this chapter. Now notice the blessing corresponds. He would multiply his seed, multiply his children. Seed means children. This blessing corresponds with what Abraham was willing to give up to God. Abraham was willing to give up his one seed, his one child, his only begotten son, if you would. Of course, we're not talking about Ishmael, because Ishmael was disowned from the family and cast out, okay, with his mother. His one seed. Because he gave up that one seed, God is going to multiply. You must first be willing to give. The lesson here, on a personal level as well as on a national level, you must first be willing to give before you receive. And interestingly, this is a principle. This is a law. You know, there's Christian businessmen and even pagans and heathen know this principle. It is a law of nature, if you would, almost. It's called the law of giving and receiving. You know, if you want to be wealthy, and I'm not talking about just monetary funds, but wealthy in love being returned to you, and wealthy and having, I'm trying to think of all these words, wealthy in non-material means as well, with all kinds of blessings. You have to be a giver. You can't just be a taker. You can't just take from people. You got to be willing to invest in other people without expecting anything in return. You have to be willing to give first before you receive. And America has been a very giving nation. A very giving nation. So again, Abraham gave his one seed, and God's going to multiply it into many seeds. But that law of giving before receiving is actually, you could find it quoted. Got a mosquito in here. I don't know how that got in here. But here we go. I got a cricket and a mosquito. I'm trying to be slowed down here today, I think, with this message. Luke chapter 6, verse 38 says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that you mete withal, it shall be measured to you again." In other words, if you give to people, it comes back. Okay, and I'm not talking about money, though that does, supporting ministries. Yeah, if you use your time and resources, or your talents to support a ministry, it's going to come back. It's because you got to let it come out of you before it comes back to you. Many people suffer with depression today. They're very sad. And I'll have to say, it's probably in part because they're not giving. They're not giving of themselves. Giving, okay, I can think of some non-material ways of giving. Giving somebody a compliment. Giving somebody a word of encouragement. Sharing the truth of God's word with somebody. Prayers of intercession. That's giving to somebody. There's many different ways to give somebody. It's not always just money or things or material things. You often see parents that parents and grandparents that have invested a lot of time in their children and their grandchildren. That comes back to them. Okay, that comes back to them. All right, it just does. It's a law of giving to receive. Now, of course, you don't give for the specific purpose of, I want something back, I want to receive, so I'm going to give. It has to be a genuine love for people. A genuine love for people. I invite you to join us on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. for Bible study / church service in Princeton, Minnesota. If you're interested and you want details and directions, please email me at ben@christianovercomers.com.